And we are live. And I am only 22 minutes late. Unfortunately, that is due to technical difficulties. And I do apologize for anybody who came here on time expecting a stream. And if you've missed it or you left, I do apologize. Hopefully, next time we'll do better. And we don't have anybody in the stream at the moment, but I do have some points that I want to quickly discuss. And for anybody that's here for the first time, this stream is all about living in Qatar as an expat. As you can obviously see, I'm an expat and I live in Qatar. And if anybody's going to join us, please feel free to drop any questions in the live chat. And if you do happen to come across this stream, once it's been live, then it's been uploaded on and archived on YouTube. You can always drop a comment in the comment section, and I normally try to get back to each and every comment that I receive. I hope everybody is doing amazing. And as the old saying goes, it's better late than never, and the show must go on. Okay, since we don't have anybody here, I will present something to you guys. We'll just go through our first item. One second. And there we go. Now, as I've mentioned, to anybody that's here for the first time, the stream is all about living in Qatar. And I will highlight some news items that basically impact living in Qatar. Now, obviously, this channel is not a news specific channel. However, as I mentioned, anything that is relevant to impacting the quality of life here in Qatar, or if there's any type of event that's happening that is worth talking about, I will definitely add it as a point on the discussion docket for this stream. Okay, and this is my first item that I want to basically discuss with you guys. So, as most of the world knows by now, Qatar is hosting the FIFA World Cup, Qatar 22, by the middle of November. And one of the things that's currently happening is the Doha Corniche. So I'll just read this headline. The Doha Corniche to be closed for vehicles from 1st November until the 19th of December. Now, as a lot of you will probably know, the Corniche is like a quite important road here in Qatar, because a lot of people obviously use it to get to work, which is in the West Bay area, or on the opposite end of the road, which is going towards your Deering, Searing area. So people use that road a lot, and it's really congested during the evenings. So obviously, one of the reasons why they have decided to just close this road, and I believe there will be a lot of fan events happening on this road as well, which is awesome since it's on the Corniche and it's really beautiful there. Okay, enough ranting. Let's quickly go through what this article is mentioning here regarding the road closures. Now, I did briefly mention this in my last stream. The Government Communications Office has confirmed that following the cabinet meeting held today, 5th October 2022, the Doha Corniche will be closed for vehicles from 1st November until the 19th of December 2022. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the kickoff for the World Cup is on the 18th of November. So basically, for 18 days prior to that, they will already close the Corniche. Yeah. The Doha Corniche will be allocated for pedestrians only during this time. I really hope they will allow like anybody on a bicycle or scooter to go there, because I actually have a pop-up that I will need to get to on a daily basis in November, December, and that is in Box Park. Now, apart from the Corniche being closed, they will also close a certain section of the roads in and around that area. So basically, the Markia road will be closed all the way south. I believe certain portions of the Deering Searing road will be closed as well. Now, I will basically need to drive from where I live, park at 5-6 Park, which is about 12 to 13 kilometers away from Box Park, which is where I will need to be during November. So that is going to be interesting. So I am planning to actually get a bicycle for that. So it's going to be really awesome. Now I didn't cycle since I was probably in my early teens. I obviously rode a bike here and there over the last few years, but it's probably good. That's probably not longer than like a few minutes. But yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting getting back to riding a bike again. So I'm looking forward to that. And that is obviously due to the fact that the corniche will be closed. And guys, obviously, I know I'm late. So, excuse me. If I actually wanted to say, if nobody shows up, I will probably cut this stream short after I go through my news points. But I have Mr. Nasim Lila here. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Welcome to the stream. All the tips you gave me the last time, unfortunately, I didn't have the time yet to implement those tips. So let's see what the stream will be like once it's uploaded to YouTube. I actually did some random network test today, and I was like trying to drill into the hole, trying to drill into the hole. Obviously, the trying to drill a hole into the wall because I wanted to basically feed extra Ethernet cable through the wall, because obviously the connection will be better if it's like a wired connection instead of Wi-Fi. Excuse me. Okay, awesome. Mr. Nasim is saying it's looking good, so that's good to know. We have another two other people in the stream. Guys, shout out just say hi, say what's up, say whatever you want to say, so I can just shout you out real quick. And again, if anybody was here earlier, I do apologize. I was running only 22 minutes late. Only. But Gandalf did say, wizard is never late. He always arrives on time, exactly when he means to. So the question is, am I a wizard? Anybody in the chat? Anybody have any questions? I'll need to get some water soon, by the way, just to make my throat a little wet. Okay, so that was an update on the road closures here in Qatar on the iloveqatar.net website. And here we are back. You guys like my lights, by the way, at the back? I almost messed it up now. I kind of like messed it up. You see, it's like it's supposed to be like that, but because I was running late, obviously I was like doing everything last minute, even my setup. So you use this little thingy-majiggy. Wow. So that's green. Anticlimactic. So that's blue. So I just got the small setup because I noticed in my last stream, which was my first stream, for anybody that's new, I almost looked like I was blending into the background. Now, obviously, I have a very boring background here anyway. If I came early, I would have put my dinosaurs here at the back and put some personal items here just to give this space some personality. But what ended up happening, because I was running late only by 22 minutes, I will reiterate, I just quickly set up my light here at the back, and hopefully this light is a bit of a barrier between myself and the background. So and then obviously I have this light here that's facing towards me, so I'm not completely engulfed in darkness. So yeah, that's just a small change that I've made to the setup. Let me know what you guys think. Who's the second person here? I'm gonna stream snipe whoever's in here, so I can log into the stream from another account. Let me just do that. can I see who's the second person? Ah, it's Rivka. Actually, I just saw your message on the on the chat to. And can I see who's the second person? Ah, negative. I cannot hear myself. I will be confused. Okay, so it's Rivka. Sup, Rivka? Thank you for joining the stream. I want to get this nice mic set up, by the way. Nasim has that. It looks really awesome. It has this like arm thing that like comes from the side. It looks really professional. Like mine is like a small mic. It's serving me well. I made a lot of videos with this so far, and I like the audio quality. But yeah, mine doesn't have this crazy arm unless I like put a green sleeve on and I can just pretend to have this arm that comes from the ceiling. But anyway, yeah, that's one of the upgrades I want to do in the future. Is get this cool mic with the arm that Mr. Nasim has for his live streams. And I see there's a third person. Okay, if you guys are not going to ask me any questions. Okay, wait. So Nasim is mentioning here a rim light. Which one is the rim light? Is it the circle? Was it circle light? No, halo light. I don't know what they call it. A rim light. Okay. I will research for a rim light. So pity I was running late. Like, look, I didn't want to be 30 minutes late because I was like trying to get my dinosaurs and make sure it's like not falling over here the back. But next time, hopefully, I will have time and put some stuff here at the back so it doesn't look that boring, right? But yeah, Mr. Nasim said maybe I should grab a rim light. Okay, so let's go on to the next topic that I want to discuss. Again, from iloveqatar.net. You guys have probably noticed that I do love Qatar.net. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will read some of it. So here's what fans can expect during the World Cup in terms of entertainment. Now, for anybody that's living outside of Qatar, I Love Qatar.net is actually quite popular because they have a lot of articles just about lifestyle in Qatar. So they'll do events and random news updates and things. So it's a really awesome website to actually to check out on a regular basis, like I have here. Okay, so Qatar will host a vast array of cultural and entertainment options for the whole family during this year's FIFA World Cup, which will be held from the 20th of November. 20th of November? I thought it's 18th of November. Okay, but the events will probably start from the 20th of November until 18th of December. The countrywide festival will include more than 90 special events set to take place on the sidelines of the tournament, which marks its 100th day countdown today, which is 12th of, oh my God, it's an old article, 12th of August 2022. The major events will feature match viewing areas, music festivals, cultural displays, and street performances. I'm actually curious to see what they've come up with. So yeah, so this is quite an old article, but again, it's something that's interesting, and it talks about basically, here's just some bullet points. Okay, let's go up. The country centerpiece entertainment offering during the FIFA World Cup will be the Corniche. So that's why one of the reasons why it's closed, which will have a carnival atmosphere along its 6-kilometer route. 6 plus another 6 that I'll have to hopefully ride with my bicycle each and every day, stretching from the Sheraton Hotel to the Museum of Islamic Art Park. That's a nice park, by the way, for anybody that is visiting Qatar. You have to check it out. It will feature roving performances, multicultural activities, food and beverage stalls, retail outlets. More than 120,000 people will visit the Corniche at peak time. Wow, that's a lot. I need to make sure that I wear my mask. The attractions is open to the public. However, some activities will require admission ticket. So again, some bullet points: 150 food outlets, 4 live stages, daily water and light shows, family and children-friendly entertainment, official FIFA merchandise, and timings will be from 10 a.m. until 12 a.m. interesting. So obviously, because I was reading that article there, I wasn't keeping an eye on the chat. So let's see what's happening here in the chat. So Mr. Naseem said, it can be any light. It's just the position of the light. A rim light is placed behind the subject that exposes the outline of. Oh, and now I know. Now I understand what you actually mean. Okay, so I can basically use, because I am using, not so easy to show you guys, but I like destroy my setup here. So this is my ring light that I'm using. So I think Mr. Naseem said that it can be any type of light source that will be used to basically break up whoever's in front of the camera with the background. Okay, awesome. That's a good tip. Thank you for letting me know. And we are 4 people strong in the chat. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to say what's up so I can just shout you out for joining the stream? And I do appreciate all the support and the eyeballs. And I'm starving, by the way. I was actually late because I was suffering from some, or experiencing, not suffering, it's like an ailment. I was experiencing some technical difficulties. And the technical difficulties is called Doha traffic, unfortunately. I really thought I was going to be on time. Any questions, guys, about life in Qatar? And if you are in Qatar, let me know if you were able to find any tickets. Okay, so I know you guys love hearing my voice. So what I'm going to do now, let's move on to another one of our topics that I want to discuss. I don't think that's the way I'm supposed to do it. That is it. Okay. So another one of Qatar, iloveqatar.net articles. So now this is specifically regarding the Hayya card holders. Now, international Hayya card holders can now invite 3 non-ticket fans to attend the World Cup. So obviously this was a bit of an issue before. If you don't have a World Cup ticket, you won't be able to enter Qatar. Obviously, you are able to enter Qatar. Yeah, they say if you have international Hayya card, you can invite other friends to join you, even though they may not have a registered FIFA World Cup ticket, which is awesome. I think that will just increase that expected 1.2 million visitors that we are expecting to probably 1.5 or even more. So it says here, international fans traveling to Qatar for this year's FIFA World Cup now have the option to invite up to 3 non-ticketed fans to attend the tournament. What does that mean? To attend the tournament? Does that mean just visiting Qatar, or does it mean actually attending a tournament? But I mean, if you don't have a ticket. Okay, so let's move on. So I'm just trying to highlight this here so you guys can actually see what I'm reading. The Hayya with Me 1+3 feature allows international Hayya card holders to invite up to 3 non-ticketed fans to attend the FIFA World Cup, which will be held from the 20th of November to the 18th of December. The feature only applies to approved Hayya card holders aged 18 or above who applied using the FIFA World Cup ticket number. Now a Hayya card is also something you have to apply for when you are traveling to Qatar during the FIFA World Cup. This is in addition to your ticket, obviously, your FIFA World Cup ticket, and also your accommodation. So those things have to be sorted out. I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Each Hayya, let me just highlight it. Each Hayya with Me 1+3 applicant will need to pay a non-refundable 500 reals. The charge will not apply to children under 12. So that's awesome. If somebody with a ticket can basically invite non-ticket holders, which is awesome. Now it's quite complicated with regards to how the entry process is gonna work. Yeah. So obviously you have to have your ticket, you have to register for Hayya card, it has to be approved. You have to have accommodation, and on top of that, obviously there are some requirements with rapid antigen tests and PCR tests that has to be done 48 hours before. Don't quote me on it. I'm just like pulling this from the top of my head. But yeah, I traveled once towards the end of last year. And again, because there was just on a cusp of countries opening up their borders again since the pandemic hit, we had a laundry list of things that we had to comply with, basically, in terms of requirements. But once you go through each and every one of them, eventually you complete everything, which is awesome. So I think it's just going to be a similar case for everybody that is traveling to Qatar soon for the World Cup. They will just have to go through each and every requirement, and obviously planning ahead is important. An example that I made in one of my previous videos is, if you are traveling to Qatar and you don't have a straight flight, let's say you have a connecting flight. Now, obviously, the PCR test should not be older than 48 hours, right? So it's basically 2 days. Now, if you have a connecting flight and you have to wait like 3, 4, 5 hours, maybe 6 hours on your connecting flights before you fly to Qatar, if anything happens to your flight and you get delayed even longer, that can be a challenge in terms of reaching to Qatar on time with the 48 hour within the 48 hours. So that's something just to take note of when you are going to travel. Honestly, just in general, when you're traveling nowadays, if you are going to connect somewhere on your way to your destination, just ensure that you have enough time there in case there's some type of delay, because nobody wants to reach to their destination and then their PCR test is going to be like, what, 40, let's say 49, 50 hours. And if that immigration officer is really strict, they will just put you on another flight to go back home. Yeah. So that's not going to be awesome. So yeah, that's the article on the Hayya cards. And I want to see if I can pull up another interesting article here that I want to just discuss with you guys. Just bear with me, guys and gals. You know, when I'm using the word guys, it's actually referring to everybody. But I know some people actually. Let me just highlight this here. Hectic. So then you need a new test. If you're referring to the PCR or rapid antigen test, yes. Now, usually at the airports, there's a facility for you to be able to do like a, like a expedited PCR test. Now, obviously, depending on where you're traveling to, like certain countries will not accept a rapid antigen test, and a rapid antigen test is basically one of the fastest tests, right? Because you get your results in like 10 minutes to like 30 minutes, right? So that is being provided at a lot of airports based on what I've read. But PCR tests, I'm not too sure how many airports actually provide the PCR test, and obviously that takes much longer too, because that has to be sent to like a lab to be tested and all this stuff. So turnaround time for PCR test is much longer, right? So that's probably the best thing to do if you get into a situation where your connecting flight is really delayed and it's impossible for you to reach your destination and have a PCR test that is valid for 48 hours or less. At that point, you'll probably have to just extend your wait in that specific airport and maybe try to do a PCR test again and just wait for the results. But again, you can imagine the headache, right? If you're traveling with kids and you'll have to get accommodation because now you're going to be spending more than 10 to 12 hours on the airport. It can get quite hectic, yeah. So I want to just show you guys something really interesting. Okay, so I actually managed to open it. So what I'm going to do, now this is not the article per se. This is just something interesting. Now, obviously, accommodation, as you can imagine, will be quite expensive considering that it's the FIFA World Cup, yeah. So let's look at this cottage in Salal. Oh, it has 3 bedrooms, 2 to 3 bedrooms. Oh, sorry, 2 bedrooms and 3 beds, yeah. And that costs $1,118. Isn't that insane? This minimalist 1 bedroom apartment with a pool, and these are all apartments, yeah. These are not hotels because it's Airbnb, obviously. $917 per night. Here's $799 for 1 bedroom. There's $893. There's $571 for like a shared bedroom in our care. So you'll have a roommate in the morning that you have to like wait in line for probably. But that's insane, yeah. This looks like a quite nice apartment, but there's a big but. This is a studio. It does have 2 beds. $1,255 per night. That's insane. I'm actually thinking, man, maybe I can rent my apartment. So I'll just buy a family size tent. So me, the wife, and the kids can stay in the tent, and then I rent out the apartment for $1,000 a night. Or we can stay in the car. We'll just do some van life videos from there. But that's insane. And I'll open another one. Actually, something I didn't think of mentioning in the chat. But since we are here, why not? I'm just opening this, guys. Please bear with me. No, thank you. So this is on the Al Arabian News website. Just check this out. Fans are hiring $20,000 a night super yachts in Dubai to watch the Qatar World Cup at sea. Just let that sink in for a little bit. So you have football fans are splashing out on $20,000 a night super yachts in Dubai during the FIFA World Cup 2022 to watch the tournament matches on the big screen while sailing on the Arabian Gulf. That is people with some serious disposable income. Clients can push the boat out further with an exclusive with the exclusive use of a Michelin starred chef. How insane is that? It's $20,000 a night for this yacht, and on top of that, you get a Michelin star chef as well to cook food for you. Okay, air is running. I will just kill that cam, and we are back. So Mr. Naseem said, "Yeah, nice. I love the van life idea, man. For $1,000+ a night, right? If I rent it for the 30 days, that's $30,000+. I'll make van life videos. I'll make tent live videos, whatever live videos you're gonna need me to make, just to rent it out. I'm kidding, obviously. For anybody that doesn't know me, I like to kid around. But yeah, it's something to consider. Yeah, if you have an extra place somewhere that you maybe are struggling to rent out. Guys, any questions for anybody in the chat? And I think my very first stream, I got to 32 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So soon we will surpass my very first stream. And we have another person that joined the stream. Welcome to whoever you are. Because I know not everybody feels comfortable to maybe drop a message in the chat or something. So let's see if I can find out in the chat option here. Live chat, not live chat. Actually, you can only see who's watching the stream if you guys drop a comment in the live chat. Guys, any questions regarding life in Qatar? Mr. Kuburat Aranola, welcome to the stream. And Mr. Kuburat said, well done, bro, and thank you so much. I really appreciate all the feedback and also all the support. Yeah, that's a new one. The tent life. I'm down $1,000 a night. Sounds like a plan to me, man. I think that's gonna be a searchable term on YouTube. Yeah, I can see it like a headline. Guy sells, rents out apartment, takes two toddlers and wife to stay in the tent in the in the desert. Man, that sounds like some viral shit, man. Sorry, I'm 30 minutes in. I don't think YouTube will know that I said the word shit. I'm gonna be very dramatic now, so let's change it. I still need to find out like a proper solution for the lighting system. Currently, I just have it like I have the LED strip mounted onto the back of a piece of foam board. But eventually, I will find like a more permanent solution. Peepa. That's me calling my cat, by the way. Peepa, come. Hmm? 5. So this is my wife just doing her voodoo stuff here in the room. My God. Oh my God. She just like. I can't I can't tell you what I just saw now. This is going to be very incriminating. So ask no questions, no lies. But I sleep there, nigga. Yeah. So let's see what's happening in the chat. So where was I? I completely lost my train of thought. Mr. Kubrat Aranola asked, how is nursing jobs in Qatar, especially for mothers like me from Nigeria? Now, I don't know if you've watched my. I have made 2 videos so far on how to look for a job in Qatar and how to actually find a job in Qatar, right? Now, one basically highlights more of the portals that you can use. Now, in that video, I've mentioned that obviously because I've been working in the Middle East for about 15 years plus, right? I always okay, you can bring some of that voodoo magic here. So I mentioned in those 2 videos basically that I'm just sharing my experience in regards to obviously looking and finding work here, right? I'm not specifically a HR or recruitment person, but um, but I do have obviously I have changed multiple jobs for better or worse over the last many years that I've been in the Middle East. So I can only tell you from my experience, right? Um, so in terms of going back to your questions, so my my wife is annoying me here. When I said that I don't have HR or recruitment background, she's like, I have, like insinuating that I need to bring her online. I know you have. I know you are HR. Okay, so I can't speak specifically how nursing jobs are in Qatar. I do know though that the pay is pretty decent, depending on where you work. So you're obviously gonna either go private, which is gonna be your Sidra, and name some amazing private hotel or hospitals. West Bay Medicare, West Bay Medicare, Al Ali. So those are some of your private hospitals that you can obviously work at. Um, so my wife basically mentioned now that a lot of nurses actually prefer to go public here, and I know that sounds strange. In my country also it will sound strange going to public versus private, but here public is amazing because the quality of healthcare here is like on another level, right? um, so other than that, I can't tell you much about what the actual work is like, obviously, for a nurse here in Qatar. um, but it's a frontline job, so it's something that's really sought after everywhere in the world, and they definitely are hiring. So you have to maybe just check out your just take a few minutes and go online on indeed.com, or check out the video I made, because I share a lot of the resources on there on where you can actually look for work. Obviously some of those portals are specifically related to um, finding work in service related sectors. However, like indeed.qa, that basically is a job portal where many industries post jobs, and I've definitely seen teacher jobs there as well as nursing jobs. So I'm sorry I'm being very vague in my answer. Can't say much more than that. But personally, Qatar is definitely a place I would recommend if you are looking to find a job here. I hope that confusing, long-winded answer at least no, at least answers some of your queries. Oh, interesting. I love this. I don't think I highlighted this when I was answering a question, but this is a question that you asked earlier. Um, okay, so this is from Mr. Nasim Lila. Any restrictions for filming YouTube videos in Qatar? Now, that is like, now that you mention it, it's one of the topics that I wrote down. It's on my list of things to do. Um, and there are actually quite a lot of restrictions, right? So in Qatar, when vlogging, like, let me tell you a story. So basically, how I started, because I was planning my first video, right? So I was like, okay, I'm living in a pretty decent area, some nice architecture here. It's not typical in terms of the typical buildings you will find in the GCC. So I figured, okay, let me take my GoPro and I'm just walking and filming myself, like walking around in where I live, basically. And it went well for what, like a maybe 45 minutes, because it was quite hot also, and that's the reason why I decided to do like a POV type of style recording outside. at 12 o'clock, which is the time that I filmed it, because it's really hot, meaning there's not going to be a lot of people that's going to be walking outside, right? Because you have to be very mindful of recording other people when you are recording videos, right? So that was one of the things that I was thinking about, right? Go outside at 12 o'clock when it's like 45 or 43 degrees Celsius. A lot of people will not be on the roads, so you can comfortably basically record some content, right? So I did that, but then I was stopped by this one security guy, and he was asking me like, "What are you doing?" I said, "So I'm explaining to him that I'm just recording a vlog and stuff. It's nothing, nothing serious." And he's like, "No, you cannot do that." I was like, "Why?" So apparently, in this area, you can only record if you get a permit. So I'm staying in Pearl, right? The Pearl, Qatar. Now, but then I questioned him. I was like, "Okay, what about cell phones? Because everybody's like recording 1 minute, 30-second clips and putting it on Instagram and wherever else online, right?" But so this dude obviously explained that, look, if mobile phones is okay. Anything other than a mobile phone is considered like a professional camera, so you will need a permit. So because I was walking around my GoPro, they obviously stopped me. So certain places in Qatar, you have to have a permit to film, like Museum of Islamic Arts, if I'm not mistaken. Another park as well. If you are gonna use anything other than a mobile phone to record your videos, you'll have to have a permit. And on top of that, as I mentioned, you cannot just record anybody. Like in many countries in the world, specifically in the US, anything that is public is like free game basically. So you can record whatever you want as long as it's in a public space. You can follow somebody also and record them, right? I think. But here, no, you cannot film anybody here. So especially if that person doesn't like it, you have to stop recording immediately or even delete whatever you filmed, right? It's a different story if somebody's in your background, in the background. Then it could be okay, right? Now, if you come across this stream, and don't be concerned, right? Doesn't mean that Qatar is not vlogger friendly, right? I've been vlogging, right? Excuse me. So you do have restrictions in terms of when and where you can film. Um, so what I normally do, if I need to film like a few minute snippet, like inside of a mall, I just use my mobile phone. I just put it on a tripod, and nobody's gonna bat an eye, right? As long as you don't point it at people, right? If you're gonna film like a selfie or something. But yeah, so there are some restrictions. You cannot record anybody in public that without their consent. And certain spaces in Qatar, you do have to have a permit if you want to vlog. So if you're coming with a really nice fancy camera, you will probably be stopped on certain spots, right? If you want to film, because they will see that as a professional camera. And it's not free also, by the way, right? So some of the permits you have to pay up to like 200 rials. I'm not sure if the price increased, but when I was looking at places to film, some of the spots were 200 rials if you wanted to basically film any content there. Like, so it's really insane, right? Obviously, some places you just need to have approval. Now, again, are they going to give you approval? It's not that simple. But yeah, some licenses is basically based on approval only, and you don't need to pay anything. Kuburat Arinola, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining the stream. Naseem, I hope I answered that. I was like jumping around that question as I was answering it. So, but I hope I got to the finish line at the end. So I'm actually planning on still making that video. So just a video that's gonna cover like do's and don'ts or things to know in Qatar when you are gonna vlog, because obviously out of that 1.2 million tourists that's gonna come during the World Cup, there's gonna be a lot of vloggers, right? And again, a lot of the restrictions and things um, will probably be reduced, I would say, because again, they expecting obviously people from all walks of life to come. So there's going to be there will be some need or some tolerance required, but again, privacy is not something that these people will ever they will not make an exception on that, right? So if somebody is going to complain about somebody filming anybody, that is going to be taken seriously. Pipa, do you have any questions? You see, I don't need a dinosaur. I have Pipa in the back. Sounds like a cool topic for video for people that's coming to watch the World Cup and wanting to vlog the event. It's exactly what I was thinking. The only thing is I have to get down to making it. I'm proud of myself. This is my first 45-minute stream. I feel like I'm running out of steam. So I actually completed all of the topics that I wanted to complete for the stream. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will go kill the stream. It will obviously still remain online. So anybody that is not able to watch it live, they'll be able to just check it out as video on demand on YouTube on my channel. Then I will destroy some pizza because we have pizza tonight for dinner. People come. People, let's show the viewers how cute we are. Come, people. Come. Now you see how violent she's getting? That is now normally what happens when you want to pick her up. So we never pick her up. And if you pick up, it's only for like, why did you scratch me? I just wanted to cuddle. Yeah, so that normally happens when you try to pick up Pipa. And sorry, my camera's like moving because I'm like knocking the bench. But anyway, yeah, so Pipa got an interesting story. We actually, my wife adopted Pipa in Qatar, I think in 2015. And then she was like a few months older at the time. So my wife adopted her from the vet. And then we ended up staying here for another few months. And then we went to Oman. So we brought her with us. Another interesting story of how we actually ended up in Oman. And then we stayed there for about 2 years. And Pipa stayed in Oman. And then when I ended my tenure with my company in Oman, I went for vacation to Philippines. Came back while Pipa was waiting. I literally had one day to pick Pipa up from the vet because we checked into the vet. And then, obviously, because the flight was the next day, so I basically just put the as carry-on luggage, which is an awesome perk of a Qatar Airways flight. Obviously, as long as your paperwork is in order, you can basically check a pet like Pipa in just as a carry-on luggage, right? Or check-in luggage. Excuse me. My wife's instance that she was like doing all over the apartment. Yeah, so I arrived in Oman, coming from Philippines, picked her up from the vet, took Pipa, and I had to look for air bed and breakfast that basically allowed pets. Went there, stayed over there with a crazy cat lady because she had like a whole lot of cats running around the house, and there's some other guests also there. So stayed with her for like a few hours, a little bit less than a day, and then I caught my flight the next day. So it was a really interesting story. So Pipa basically traveled from Qatar to Oman, back to Qatar again. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we have some celebrities in the house. We have Side Hustle Garage. Actually, Nasim is also part of Side Hustle Garage, but this is the actual Side Hustle Garage profile that is joining the stream. So we have some celebrities in house. And obviously, for anybody that doesn't know, Side Hustle Garage, they have close to 17K followers now, guys. And it's about a year's time that you guys got that amount of followers. That's amazing, by the way. Very well known back home. Pleasure being here, cuz. When can we come over and do some vlogs, man? Anytime. There's supercars galore here. So you will not run out of any content here. And you know these dudes here, my bro, they don't just buy a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. They buy a Ferrari and Lamborghini and they wrap it and put some extra fluff on it also. Now you will be seen. So my wife is she almost like came into view of the camera. Let's just leave it at that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Kubrat. Have a nice evening as well. Guys, I'm running out of steam. Actually ran out of steam already. And for anybody that just joined now, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm gonna try to do this weekly. I'm trying to commit to it. So I don't know exactly. Like I said, I'm playing around with the different days to see how many people are going to join on each of the days and if it's okay based on the feedback, and also if it works with my schedule so I don't have any technical difficulties before uh, starting the stream again. But yeah, guys, that's it. That's 51 minutes and 36 seconds. Thank you so much for listening to my rants here on YouTube. And if you come across the stream after the fact, it will be online on video on demand, so you can check it out. I don't know if I'm going to edit it. I don't have the energy to edit it, so I'll probably leave it just like that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining the stream, and I'll catch you guys hopefully next week. Peace.